Oh, this time tomorrow, millions of Americans will be heading to the polls, casting their votes in what's been described as one of the most consequential elections of our lifetimes.
The two main candidates differ in a lot of ways, but one thing they have in common, they're both aging baby boomers. Here with context, Omaha's retirement strategist Daryl Bryant. He's one of Omaha's premier financial advisors and the president of D. Bryant Retirement Strategies.
He just threw
the context.
He just threw in an oh boy. He also hosts the Retirement Strategies radio show on 1110 KFAB here in Omaha. Tune in Saturday mornings at 8. Oh boy, Daryl.
Yeah. So I'm the guy that takes the heat on whatever I say. I can't possibly be right.
We've got opinions left and right, but the one thing that's indisputable is the age of these candidates.
Well, Trump is 70, Clinton's 69, right? So they're both in that baby boomer range.
They are indeed. So, 60 is the new 50, et cetera. 70 is the new 60. So, listen, this is Hillary's second attempt, at the, run at the presidency. And here's Trump at age 70, believes he can drain the swamp, et cetera, and make a change. So everybody's got, it's a very, very heated topic, of course.
If I think back to past elections, like, when Ronald Reagan was running, whether it was presidential or Senate, like different campaigns, age has been an issue over the years. But in this cycle, we're just not hearing it, really, where voters seem concerned about it.
Well, because neither campaign can use that as a club, right?
That's true.
Right, I guess, yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. So you have a very, very heated contest here. It's going to come right down to it. Trump picking up all this momentum with everything that's been going on with Hillary and all the WikiLeaks and everything that's happening. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
No matter what happens, we're going to have a baby boomer in office. Is that inspirational to that generation of folks out there?
I think so. I think that we who have a little bit of gray hair, and I can see you just have a small amount of gray hair.
One or two, Daryl.
No, Daryl,
one or two.
We've talked about this.
You'd have to get the close-up to see it.
One or two.
But here's the thing. I think that with all of the technology and everything that has come along in the past decade and a half, I think that some of us that have a little bit of gray hair felt a little bit set back, in terms, hey, I can't really quite run a Mac. That we have to go to the younger generation for all these questions. But indeed, there is a benefit to having, a little bit of gray hair and having been on the planet for a little while, So certainly we do bring a lot to the table, those of us who've been around the corner a few times, and with, running a country, you don't, there's a reason they have an age limit, or minimum age for a president.
Wisdom is a valuable asset.
Indeed it is. Yeah.
Many baby boomers are having to work. I mean, I see this even within my own family, are having to work well into what we would have previously described as those retirement years. Why is that becoming more common? I mean, surely you see it too.
Well, a lot of reasons. I think that, first of all, we have baby boomers that whose parents had pensions. Probably were not taught well enough. Well, statistically, nationwide, we have a lot of people who just haven't saved much money. And so now they're age 60 and they're saying, well, gee whiz, I'm pretty sure I can't live on that Social Security. And they're saying Social Security may or may not be solvent, in the first place. Then we have longevity, is greater these days.
Right.
We have health care expenses going through the roof. People are beginning to recognize that. People are getting their Obamacare bills and they're seeing these premiums double. Well, how are we going to be 60 years old, and especially if you're self-employed, for example, have your insurance premiums double and continue to save any money, et cetera. So it's getting more and more difficult as the baby boomers move through to save money. And again, we're living longer, so we're just forced into, working longer.
In these big election years like this, interesting things happen with the economy. How do you think the markets could be impacted, I guess, the next coming days, really? What's the impact?
Well, I think that, first of all, we're going to see some movement in the markets. We saw a lot of movement with everything going on with Hillary and all of the stuff that came down the pike, and a lot of decline in the market. I think that whenever there's uncertainty, there's going to be some turmoil, in the market. I got an email first thing this morning, or a voicemail from staff here on the way in, saying, what should I do about my account? Should I go to cash, right before, since the election's coming up? I think there's going to be some turbulence. That's understandable, but we are way overdue for a correction. Eventually, even after the turbulence and uncertainty causes turbulence, there will be a return to fundamentals and price to earnings ratios, and professional investors will view what they need to view in terms of the pricing of the market. But certainly uncertainty, including a presidency, tax rates, there's a lot at stake. How are we going to run our businesses? What are the tax rates going to be? What's healthcare, going to cost? There's a lot of things that will cause businesses to either lay off employees or it's a big one. This is a big election.
Daryl takes a safety first approach,
Yes.
whether it's an election year, anytime, because he knows that it's about what you've worked for and it's about your future and the sort of confidence that you can build in retirement. So I think one of the best ways to kind of get in that position is with a one-on-one consultation, and that's what you're offering today for our viewers. And listen, there's no cost for it. To go in and sit down, get your feet set. It's 402-932-2141. What would that visit include? Give us an example of what a viewer should expect.
Well, the first thing we're going to do is get to know each other and make sure that they're in the right shop and make sure that we can help them. We want to be safety first, in my office. So we employ things like Wealth Guard and Asset Lock, so our clients know that there's no way in the world that their accounts are going to decline. So that brings a lot of stress relief right there. But what we want to do, and we talk about on the radio show all the time, is we've got to do the math, do the math, do the math. Where are you in relationship to whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish? In my case, retirement only. That's all we do is retirement. What can we do to make certain that we are going to go through life with a stress-free retirement and not have 30 years of ring in our hands? So it's actually pretty easy going. We're going to have some warm cookies and a cup of coffee. And,
That sounds nice, actually.
No kidding. We will do that.
Go in and just sit and visit,
And
right?
If you have a question for Dale, you can send it into questions at omahasretirementstrategist.com. Also, if you're in that retirement red zone, you can give them a call, 402-932-2141. You can learn more online at dbryantretirementstrategies.com. Daryl, thanks for stopping in.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you,
week. We'll see you
sir.
next
You
week.
too. Okay.
Guest of the Morning Blend starts